There's Blinding Light, sure. And one more sort of thing that we didn't mention in the draft just yet. They've opted to go for this Spirit Breaker in the off lane, which means that his farm is not going to be as much as he would if he was mid, right? So that means a slightly slower Shadow Blade, slightly slower Axe or BKB or whatever he wants. That's going to increase the window that Bleed are just able to stun him on entry, right? You try and charge in. If DJ spots you, it's an instant lift. If Luna spots you, it's a stun. Hell, even Centaur can time his Hoof Stomp to try and stop you in your tracks. I don't think Gabby has an easy game. Yeah, he doesn't have an easy game by any means in terms of connecting on these charges.
This is one of the games where you're rushing a Shadow Blade on Spirit Breaker. I think you're kind of right on that.
It has to. It has to be. If not, you're just going to be interrupted every single time.
Or you just have to really find those weird angles. Ooh, okay. We're gonna go for the urn, maybe the vessel on Arc Warden. So this kind of leans into the aggressive Dota that Bleed are gonna be playing.
Yeah, I like this a lot. I mean, we've seen some experimentation. This isn't anything new to us, right? This isn't the first Arc Warden Spirit Vessel, especially when you can just kind of collect charges with the clone. It's
yeah,
very
and
convenient.
use charges with the clone.
Yeah, convenient stuff.
Yeah.
How does it work? What if you use both heroes and press the charge at the same time on two different heroes? Does it split?
I don't think
no.
I don't know if the other uses the charges.
What?
I literally don't know. Like
okay,
I'm telling you, I don't know.
Okay, you need a,
we'll keep an eye out. We'll keep an eye out.
You're my analyst. Your eye better be wide open, man. You need to figure this out.
It's going to be for sure. I'm going to be watching this.
If that's the case, that's kind of insane.
Because like I'm thinking of it right, like when you spawn it with the Midas, it's off cooldown, right?
Yeah.
And you use it and it doesn't put your Midas on cooldown.
It also begs the question that when you summon, because it always treats the cell or the Tempest Double as its own hero, so it has its own native Midas cooldown. Does it then also natively collect its own charges that are independent from the hero?
Interesting. Yeah, that's interesting.
I actually have
we'll keep an eye out. We'll keep an eye out for sure.
I'm sure one of the 209k players in chat will let us know, but for now, for us, we'll have to wait the delay or at least spot it out in the game. Masaros, a bit of trouble trying to contest for this rune. We'll have to hoof stomp his way out of there, taking just a bit of damage to start things off. 3 for 2 actually. Able to get the better of that economic exchange.
Yeah, I mean, at this level of Dota, right, a little bit goes a long way. You know, this could be the this could be the end of it.
Yeah, it's over. Okay, wrap it up, everybody. They lost the runes.
It's
sounding like someone with like 2 behavior score or something like that. Like, you just spam ping, bro. Why didn't you click the runes, man?
And then you just run down mid, right? Like just straight down.
Like he just starts dropping his items. You're like, oh boy. Now the one upside to this Spirit Breaker, as we see Carlo taking some pressure, one more Fable is all that's gonna make the kill happen. No. Very conservatively held Fairy Fire. Carlo stays alive. And yeah, I mean, Raven, he's just gonna have to act like a pseudo bodyguard, right? Punish them for walking up like that. If not, Carlo's just gonna be toast.
Yeah, Carlo's gonna be the one in the main danger in this lane. Right, I feel like Raven should be relatively safe. Unless you got maybe level 4 on DJ and Masaros, then maybe you have kill potential on Raven.
A little bit awkward there. Nobody saw anything, so we won't discuss that little fumble with the Fable.
Yeah, it didn't happen. It didn't happen.
What are you talking about? I have no idea. Masaros. Great Centaur set, by the way. No, okay, I'm just finding something. Okay, so let's take a look at the trajectory of this game, right? It's clear that with the Luna, you're trying to hit a certain tempo. How does that sort of pair up with the Arc Warden? Because we've seen some Arc Wardens play a little bit more greedy, some play a little bit more upscale. You already mentioned the potential of the Spirit Vessel coming out. How does that pair up with the timing that Bleed are trying to do? As Jackie, I mean, he hits a devious Lucent Beam to get that first blood for himself, but yeah, I mean, where are we going with this Bleed lineup, you think?
So, we could see a very low greed Arc Warden build, right? If you're going to put all this pressure onto Jackie, which they have in the past, right? Put a lot of pressure onto Jackie to carry, and Jackie will carry you.
True.
So this kind of opens up Makoto to do something a little bit more passive. Get the Spirit Vessel, or I guess active in a passive way, in a less greedy way. you get the Solar Crest, you get the Spirit Vessel, right? You're the one bringing utility, early game utility to your team.
Yeah.
But who knows? It could just be a Gleipnir, right? That's also very good this game.
I mean, specifically for me, I just want to see Bleed invest in some intermediate items, right? Like, so stuff like, I don't know whether anyone on the Bleed lineup gets something like a Mage Slayer, but your Dragon Lancers on your Lunas, maybe your Veils on your Centaurs, just to make sure you're tanking up, because Blacklist Rivalry, if they're not able to get off to a good start on Gabby and the supports, they might face some damage issues. Lifestealer takes a while to ramp up. In Spirit Breaker, before he gets his major items, the charges do like, nuke you a little bit, but that's about it. So the Bleed heroes could become very, very difficult to kill.
And the charge is going to be inconsistent this game, too, on top of that. Right, like we already talked about. It's not going to be a hard game to connect with your charges. And we see Gabby, he's going to go for this old school, last patch Spirit Breaker build.
Wait, hold on.
Midas into the Octarine.
Hold on, do you say it's not a hard game to connect on your charges? Didn't we already discuss this?
It did. No, I said it is. Oh, sorry, I might not have said that. I meant to say it is. I meant to
I was
say
like,
it is.
I was so confused.
Yeah,
I'm like,
sorry.
No, I'm sure
we
that's
literally
what you
just talked about it. Yeah.
Maybe going a bit more greedy, that might benefit him a bit more. You know, just split the map a little bit. Lower cooldown means you're able to just ping pong around side lane, mid lane, jungle camp. Ramp up in a big way. For now, it's Masaro's top of the CS again. He's having a stellar old time on this Centaur Wall Runner.
It's a lot of the times we see these offlaners topping the net worth, and Spirit Breaker is not quite there yet, right? He's not doing too hot in this bottom lane.
Dude,
his denies are okay, but his last hit's not quite there.
I was literally about to say, what do you mean? Isn't the Timber off lane? And then I realized, yeah, they did the switcheroo.
Yeah.
I mean, Abed and Mikoto are going just even Stevens here, and honestly, no surprise, right? I don't think there's any kill threat unless, for some reason, Mikoto decides to walk next to the tier 1 tower in mid.
The same can be said either way, too, right? Like, if Timbersaw gets too big for his britches, then he's dead as well.
The difference is he has Timber Chain, though.
Yes, that's true.
Just slide his way out of there. But yeah, it is going to be that Spirit Vessel build that you mentioned. He queued it up from the very start, so it's almost like he's letting his team know, like, this is how we want to play. Abed, nice rotation to the top side, potentially catching DJ off guard. 2 more seconds until that second round of spells, but looks like Masaros will be able to get a return. And Rube actually gets the EXP before going down, so ends up being a positive trade for Bleed, it feels like.
Yeah, and this is time where Timbersaw, for some reason, he's left middle. And that's just more space for Mikoto.
Yes, sir. I mean, Mikoto, the difference is that Arc Warden tradition, not really a ganking hero, but maybe with this Spirit Vessel level 6, or rather even the Urn, right, you can really get things going. There's the clone. Straight up onto Carlo. I said it's not really a ganking hero. It's a bit of a different story if you just run right into him at level 6. It's an easy first charge for the Arc Warden.
That clone change it actually still like boggles my mind why they did that. I think that was a huge buff to the hero that he didn't necessarily. Maybe he did need it, but I think maybe buffing his other spells would be a little bit better. Although that's kind of crazy thinking about it. His other spells are crazy. I don't know. Maybe that is what you needed to do. Maybe I'm talking myself in circles here. Maybe that is what you needed to do for our core.
I personally thought that there was a period of time where the Axe Scepter was just insufferable. People were even playing this on position 4. Like, I actually don't know what the counterplay was to that. I just stand there and, like, Wraiths would spawn repeatedly, and it felt like techies, but worse.
Yeah.
I don't really mind this change, though, on the Arc Warden, like Tempest Double. I feel like it allows him to play more active, which has always been the problem, right? You get an Arc Warden, you're like, okay, I guess I AFK for, like, 25 minutes.
Yeah, long gone are the Divine Rapier Arc Wardens, right?
Oh my god. I don't even want to talk about it.
It could have came back with the Conda, though. Conda, Divine Rapier, Arc Warden.
Please, no.
Could have been back. Could have been back.
You need to stop putting ideas in their heads.
I will roll in my grave if I ever see a Conda Arc Warden. I'm done at that point.
I mean, they are getting pretty creative with the build so far, so you never know. But now, just converging on this mid lane. Abed actually taking so much damage. No real tools for survivability in this early stage. And Mikoto, he's just trouncing all over his counterpart Carlo in a little bit of a pickle as well, but won't be tagged by that Spark Wraith. He'll be able to walk free, but look at this dominance in the mid lane, man. Mikoto is putting one on right now.
And we've already talked about how Makoto, he's been practicing this Arc Ward in his pubs, right? And he's ready to bring it off onto the stage here for the close qualifiers. He is feeling very confident and looking very good on this Arc Ward.
We're going to bring 3 supports, or rather 3 heroes from Blacklist to try and defend this. No more Tempest double. Inkswell helping Mikoto out, but what do you have other than that initial stun? Nothing to stop that TP. Gabby wasn't charging on the same target. They're trying to go for more, and that green is going to come back and bite them. They at the very least repel the bleed aggression, but all they get is Peloton for a 4-man rotation.
And this is how last game started out, right? Time after time, they got the Peloton kill. Very cool, like, very nice, right? Like, it didn't really matter in the end.
Great recognition from Masaros as well that, you know, Gabby is missing on the map currently and can be charging him. The last thing you want is to give over a small advantage to that lifestealer. It's just gonna allow him to continue to exist up there.
And you're right on the money earlier. You know, you mentioned you want to be seeing these smaller items from Bleed. That's exactly what Jackie has queued up in that Dragonlance.
Perfect, perfect. Love to see it. I mean, last thing you want as a Luna is literally just getting blown up randomly in your own jungle while farming. If you're able to just buy enough time for your Art Water to come down with a clone and rip them to shreds, then suddenly Blacklist rivalry are very, very sad.
And Vessel is complete on Makoto now. So it is big ganking hours for the Arc Warden.
No, beautiful. He's got to get going. Top of the net worth already. They don't even have time to stop by for the Wisdom Rune. I mean, DJ will finally make a trip there. But Jackie's done well to keep himself safe here out here in this bot side. I mean, net worth-wise, Gabby isn't really doing too hot. He hasn't found the most CS resources in the lane. He's opting for the Midas like you said, but that's still a ways away.
Gonna potentially try to force something here in the bottom lane. Lots of pings coming out for both teams.
Yeah, it's a bit weird. Like, the way Gabby's routing around these trees makes it seem like he's setting up for something. But no one else is here other than the Grimstroke. I wonder whether they believe they have enough damage to just work through the Luna all by herself. Oh, they're playing a bit of cold feet here because they keep seeing Mikoto dip in and out of this vision that they placed. And they're just worried about the rotation coming in to nail them. Straight on into Mikoto. Gabby coming into the mid lane and a much needed kill. The lift can't come in time. DJ will get a return onto Carlo though, but the stolen charge. Ah, that looks so silly. DJ, with the help of the Stampede, he'll get out of trouble.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
And yeah, the Spirit Vessel.
Sneeze. I have an answer to our Spirit Vessel conundrum.
Okay.
So the Arc Warden double spawned with 2 Vessel charges.
Yeah.
And then used one of them.
Yeah.
And Arc Wardens didn't go down.
Oh my goodness. No wonder Mikoto with the tech, man.
Dire's structures are fortified.
Because I believe, yeah, Carlo died after Makoto did, so Makoto would have gotten the extra Vessel charge.
He gets the charge from dying, right?
Not if you don't have 0. Only when you have 0.
Hold that thought. Mikoto is dead on our screens again. It's beautiful execution from Tim's, sending him in with that Inkswell, but Jackie, he's still standing tall. Works down Carlo. They finished off the Spirit Breaker as well, but Abed is cleaning up shop on the back lines. 3 for 2 exchange, and Jackie can't continue to stay here.
They might look for more, yeah. Jackie, he's got to run. I mean, I don't want to say it was even that good of a fight from Blacklist, because losing your Spirit Breaker when he's so far behind is kind of bad.
Yeah, look, he's kind of fallen into a bit more of a sacrificial role at this point. I mean, he's just gonna play a bit poverty mode, go farm the side lanes, and just try and get that Midas. At the very least, Abed's doing well for himself, right? Has now eclipsed Mikoto, a couple of chain kills onto him, and he might not be feeling quite as confident to play that aggressive anymore.
Yeah, it is probably safety time for Makoto, right? The aggression has to have maybe been hampered a little bit, right? You're not feeling as confident to make these aggressive moves anymore on the Arc Warden.
Start the pressure out onto the bot side. That's what the partner is for. All those nether blasts can really lay into that objective, but you know Jackie doesn't want to give this up lightly. Doesn't have a level in the Eclipse, but the second he's threatened, the whole of Bleed are going to show up. So you got to be wary of that. Just pop up to the top side instead.
Radiant are scanning.
Big TP's coming in. They might try to gank Gabby here.
Straight into the mid lane. Stolen charge. Use his own spell against him. Another kill for Mikoto.
A little bit of taste of your own medicine. And Mikoto, after those 2 ganks, he is pivoting towards the Midas now.
I mean, that's kind of the build-up that we've been seeing already.
You kind of need to.
The funny thing is, he almost beat Gabby at that timing as well. Like, he was this close. Gabby manages to pick it up with that creep wave and now has it available. A long way to go to ramp back up to where he needs to be.
DJ, you gotta be careful. I guess he does have charge, so he's feeling confident. But with Spiritbreaker coming up, you know, he's gotta be maybe a little worried about getting charged.
I mean, once again, you know, the Spiritbreaker doesn't actually have any items to destroy, like mess up the Rubik before he connects. And the Rubik, if he sees you from a mile away with that ward that he's placed, he just lifts you onto the high ground. You're feeling a little sad.
Yeah, you're feeling a little dumb on the high ground there.
Yeah, you're just like,
right? You're like, ugh.
Oh man, what the heck,
bottom
man?
tower
Yeah.
is under attack.
You gotta wait like the 15 seconds for charge to come off cooldown.
Yeah. Yeah, like I just respawn. I'm not trying to TP again.
Radiant's
Blacklist will clean up that tier 1 tower in the bot side. No one was really around to defend it. I think they sort of all recognized that, you know, this area might not be ours to claim anymore. A high ground sentry. Tim's actually getting spotted out, clipped by that ward vision. And in comes DJ. Not gonna fully commit for that, just steals the Whirling Death instead. They're pretty good against these strength heroes.
Very good.
I mean, that's if he's next to them, which I don't think is where TJ's trying to be.
No. But to be fair, Abed's gonna get on top of you anyways.
That's
right?
true.
Like, that's something you can't really control. So if you can dish some damage out to him when he jumps on you, you might as well.
Yeah, make him hurt for it, you know?
Yeah.
Kind of like a Blade Mail type sitch. I think it's a quieter...
Blade Mail Rubik. Maybe you're onto something.
Shut the hell up. Okay, look. Bleed have definitely slowed down the tempo a little bit. Mikoto was feeling like he was ready to get going, but now, especially with Masaros completing that Blink Dagger, they're ready to finally start putting on the just kind of continued pressure, I guess. Looking for the lifesteal. Oh, they narrowly missed Carlo. He would have loved to break that smoke, but they settle for him instead. Should be an easy kill. Turn around the Nether Ward. Not much can be done there, unfortunately. Just gets killed off. They charge through. Gabby with the ink spell. It's onto DJ. Even with the Stampede, can't get that Rubik out of there. 1-for-1 trade on the support's not ideal, but given that you've brought in so many heroes from Blacklist, not the worst as well. Meanwhile, Luna just farming away in the triangle.
I think Bleed's happy with this though, right? Just because Jackie is still farming.
True.
And what, they only lose their support? It's support for support, I guess. But this is where danger happens.
Yeah, I mean, this can start happening now. Gabby doesn't have any items, but he still services just fine as a delivery for Raven to get into the mix. This Lifestealer, not really a hero that we talked about this entire game, but Orb of Corrosion, so good this game, especially paired up with the armor pickup. Now they found DJ, lift him to the low ground, steal out the Bodos, and nice Nether Strike setup. It's another kill onto the support, nothing much you can do about that. As Bleed, true to their name, they're starting to slip up these kills one by one. They need to regroup and mount a proper defense together.
Is under attack. Radiant structures are fortified.
And they've completely whiffed their blink timing on Centaur as well. Right, that was not the fight that you wanted to blink reveal on. Carlo, he's very okay taking the gank for the blink reveal, and DJ dying once again, so close to his blink dagger. It's just been denied for a lot longer than he would have liked.
We talked about Bleed potentially hitting this early timing with the BKB Luna and a couple of small items on these cores. But now, post the early stage where the Arc Warden is a big threat to these supports, he's kind of gearing back up into the quote-unquote regular build that you're going to see, maybe the Gleipnir down the line as well, just for additional control. I mean, even though Luna's feeling pretty strong, do you think this BKB timing is still something they can capitalize on with the situation of Masaros as well as Mikoto?
I almost think they have to try. Because once again, if they miss their window, Spearbreaker's only going to get scarier as the game goes late.
Dude, Spearbreaker can solo win the game for them. That's the kind of hero he is.
Yeah. Not solo carry the game, but make the moves to solo win the game. You know what I mean? Like,
right? Like the split pushers, forcing CPs back, 4v5 situations, charging back, joining the team. It's got to be disgusting. And I mean, Raven, he's only going to continue to ramp up. We already talked a bit about the Lifestealer and the Luna matchup.
Game gets scarier as it goes late, and Bleed, they got to do something. Like, not now, but maybe in a few minutes now.
We've seen like what 96-minute Arc Warden games, so I mean,
Oh god.
look, we get 2-0s and nothing else, right? I mean, if this
That's
second
true.
game goes
I'll
long, I'm
take
not
a
even
90-minute
right.
game.
Like it's
Yeah.
fine. I'm okay, right?
Yeah.
But I'm sure Blacklist, they don't want their hopes and dreams to end so soon. In the grand scheme of things, you know, if we're being realistic here, in terms of every single match that they played competitively, this wouldn't be like the biggest loss ever. It's not like they're playing for what 5 million prize pool down the line at Riyadh or something like that. But you know, all of these points add up. All of these events matter, and I think more so than that, the expectations for the org is to see another delivery. Mikoto, he can't afford to die here, but that is exactly what's gonna happen. Raven just eats him right up. And again, Blacklist are just continually setting up here in this top side, and Bleed fall for the bait 2 to 3 times now.
Bleed are doing exactly that. One too many deaths now on these core heroes are pushing Blacklist ahead.
Less than 1k gold lead. This used to be very, very different. The Blacklist heroes were struggling a bit, but it feels like on the back of Gabby somewhat sacking himself for ensuring Abed's success. Now Abed is confidently running in with that Inkswell, looking for an angle. Guessing wrongly though. Smoke breaks on the Timber, but isn't able to trace that Luna in the nighttime.
Radiant's middle tower is under
That's where the
attack.
extra light vision from Luna comes in handy, right? Like, not a lot of people think about it, but it goes a long way.
Yeah, vision is king, especially in these games when you're up against a Spirit Breaker. Very same but different to the Magnus, where it's a hero that relies on how many lanes you have pushed out at any point in time. How many deep walls do you have to set up the potential jumps, right? And for him, Abed isn't really going to be that guy who's initiating the fights. It's a lot of pressure on Gabby, and he's delivering right now, even with a rough start.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
And I think that's one of the good things about Spirit Breaker right now is, in general, is that he can actually kind of recover farm.
Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
Definitely not in the jungle, but you know, these waves are all, there's always going to be creep waves that you want to
Is under attack.
Gonna spot Tim's out thanks to that ward on the high ground, freshly placed. Looks like they want to take the fight in this area, but Masaro's getting routed right now. Abed's found him in the tree line. Stops that blink from coming through. No additional follow-up onto these supports, and they're able to get out of their Blacklist rivalry, preserve Tibbs.
Radiant's bottom tower.
Did
is under
Abed just
attack.
cancel his own Yules with a Timber Chain? Is that what I just saw?
Wait, have you... Okay, so that's how it works, right? It's like you're in Yules, but you can Timber Chain away out of Yules. So you use, you throw the Timber Chain out first, it takes a while to connect, and to avoid disables, you use yourself.
Checks out.
Yeah? They'll get Tims, but now the charge out. The Yules again disjointing that initiation. Now Abed forced to blink away into the Eclipse. It's gonna catch nobody. Very fast moves from the Timbersaw, but Masaros doesn't want to let this one go. Spies out Carlo, and looks like the partner's gonna go down. Meanwhile, you have the commitment onto the backline. DJ and Pelosa in some trouble, and they should be mopped up pretty easily. But Mikoto still untouched, but can't exactly do anything against Raven, who's on a double kill now. This Lifestealer has well and truly recovered, and is doing very, very well for himself now.
And it's only going to get harder, right, as this game goes on, like we've talked about Bleed. They've kind of missed their window. Luna is going to need a little bit more now, and Lifesteal already with that Radiance means that he kind of beats her out just a little bit right now. Luna's really going to need that BKB to make an impact.
Yeah, that's the only timing that we were talking about as well, and they're still geared up for it. It just, I mean, these moves in the BKB have to count. You kind of fumbled the bag with your Centaur, Blink Reveal, Mikoto as well. You know, he's feeling a lot less confident taking these fights. We'll be able to get out of that troublesome situation with Gabby thanks to the Inkswell Tims. Will be the sacrifice in this situation, and I don't think Blacklist can afford to stick around. Abed will just cut straight through the perimeter though. And he's in trouble once again, using the Yule's trick to get himself to safety. Trying to refresh the blink. He's found for now, but once again, the angles, they find him, but Masaros right on his heels. They might get this huge kill, and they'll manage to finish him off with Jackie's Lucent Beam. And the chase is on. They're still on to Raven. Yule's up. Rage ends, and the setup is there. He doesn't have any help, and they can do nothing but watch and retreat. A little bit too deep for Blacklist rivalry, not respecting Masaros. He might not have landed and connected on that initial blink reveal, but he's making it work for him now. 4 kills across the board, and a tower to boot.
And also, I want to talk about this DJ pivot right? I mentioned he was so close to his Blink Dagger, but he swaps it up last minute for this Yule Scepter, and it's paid itself off twice.
Yeah, it's just perfect. I mean, whether or not we saw maybe Abed, whether or not it was his own Yules, that's how the Timber Chain works. But that Yules being able to set up additional kills, allowing Masaros to get the time to refresh his spells, blink forward and stun again, is what's going to lead them to be able to get this Roche. And this timing that we were worried about now sits perfectly. Jackie's going to have 2 additional insurances, one in the BKB and one in the Aegis.
They definitely bite back. They know their timings, they hit their timings. And now it's just the question of if they're going to push the advantage with their timings.
I mean, like you mentioned earlier on, it almost feels like they have to. The booster travel's completed for Mikoto now, going to allow his clone to be outsourced on different areas on the map to address the charging Spirit Breaker. Hopefully trying to drag them back here. But then again, I mean, when you pop that clone out anywhere on the map, that's like, what, a 25-30 second window that Blacklist know your fighting prowess as the Arc Warden is so much weaker. But now they'll settle for that Tormentor, and it's a nice shot for Carlo.
It's a weird shard, in my opinion. It's good for, like, the cast range of the Nether Ward. It's actually, like, really good because you can sneak, like, put it, like, sneakily in the trees. But it puts you in the situation where it's like, okay, am I going to be sucking my Nether Ward or my allies?
Yeah, I understand.
Like,
I mean,
who do I life drain?
It's more so better for, I guess, defending high ground or, like, your objectives. And in the fights, it kind of puts you in a weird spot. So far, we haven't really seen that whole Pugna heal your ally come into fruition. He's largely just been picked off on the back lines. Barely gets another one off in these instances. There's a shot now on DJ as well, going to allow him to have that save potential, lift someone out of trouble or harm's way, if he so chooses.
DJ goes back for the blink though, right? Like, surely.
Maybe. I mean, he could also sort of opt for what we've been seeing from some of these supports and sort of pivot more into a team aura type item pickup. For now, it's Jackie on the high ground with that Aegis. Show a bit of respect though. Don't know where the Blacklist rivalry heroes are, and Mikoto, he's still addressing the creep wave while Raven trying to get whatever he can from the map. They'll finally TP back. Now you need to watch yourself. Smoke up. This might not be a high ground that you can penetrate this Blacklist. Still trying to control the vision around the area. Tims will be found, and Carlo, not much you can do about that other than the D-Crab, but so much magic control and damage. They're doing a very smart move in only presenting Jackie on the front lines, not allowing any susceptible targets to get caught out by a charge. Get away with one free pick off 30 seconds without your Grimstroke. What can you do on Bleed?
BKB hasn't been popped from Jackie, right? They have the timing right now. T3, not quite as low as they'd like it to be, but it's getting there slowly but surely with the creeps coming in. Gotta start whittling down this tier 3 tower.
Magnetic Field as well as the Luna, just that auto attack on the high, or at least the auto attacks and the Glaze bouncing on the high ground. The second this tier 3 tower falls, things are gonna get troublesome for the defense. There you go. Starting to bounce out now, Carlo. Trying for the sucky, but
Dire's top barracks are under
it's
attack.
barely gonna. It's hard. I mean, it's barely gonna tickle them. That's the problem.
Fortification. Hold the racks a little bit longer. Maybe so Jackie has to really full commit for this.
Here comes Gabby into the fray. The Yule's up though, but Raven starting to punch away. That's a BKB, and Gabby, he doesn't stand a chance. He just gets sliced apart. Here's Spirit Breaker, he has a buyback, but this is a very tricky situation to fight into now. Mikoto has committed the clone, and Carlo looks to be in trouble. The Glimmer Cape will save him for now, but they get what they came for in the racks, and they still keep the Aegis intact.
They can just keep going now too, right? Like, these tier 2 towers should go down. They have quite a bit longer on the Aegis.
Oh yikes, the Gleipnir completed for Mikoto as well. Just that additional bit of control. Suddenly it's not as easy for Abed to navigate these fights, and I mean, a Timbersaw might be strong, but in these objective defenses on the high ground, not a lot of trees and areas to work with where you can get creative. That's what they're capitalizing on right now. I feel like we haven't seen Abed in 2 minutes.
Yeah, Abed has definitely fallen off, and I think this is kind of the problem with mid Timbersaw. Is you just have the potential of not doing things. Like, the thing about the Pangolier is you're always going to be able to have a reliable ultimate to do things in the game.
They'll try and aggress onto Jackie here, but Raven With that Inkswell and the Rage running out, you gotta be careful. Lift back straight in. Masaros with the Storm set up as well. Jackie popping the shots, spinning all around him. Gabby has committed in, but he's gonna die again. Nice infest to keep him alive, but only momentarily as Raven forced to pop the BKB. Turn around, but the physical damage, it's overwhelming. Not enough to just finish him off, but Jackie still stands his ground. Finally losing his first life, but that's gonna come at the cost of Carlo yet again. The partner will go down, immediate buyback. Might just have to pop this one out on the Spirit Breaker as well if you want to preserve your mid-ranks, but it's too late. Jackie already punching away and still has the BKB in the back pocket.
Dire's middle barracks.
And time to back up, Bleed. They've gotten everything they could have asked for in the first Aegis.
Dude, what is going on? Blacklist are about to get knocked out by Bleed? Is this really the timeline that we're in?
It certainly is, right? Bleed 13k ahead right now, and they are looking unstoppable. You know, we questioned if they may have missed their earlier timing, but we were very wrong, right? They just needed that BKB on Jackie. And as soon as they got BKB, bam, they start making every single movement count.
A lot of the Bleed lineup has changed over the past 1.5 years or 1 year since their inception. But the one man that has stayed intact is this guy, Jackie. And we're seeing absolutely why. You give him the space, you give him the time, and you pick him a hero that makes sense in the game, he will absolutely do his job. He's played this game flawlessly, 4-0 and 7 on that Luna, and he's absolutely hitting his timing. Straight onto the high ground. I can't help but feel like Mega Creeps are going to spell the end of Blacklist rivalry. They need to do something now. Abed gonna blink in. That's a reveal straight onto Raven. Bring him in as well, but Abed just gets melted. Raven desperately trying to finish up Masaros at the very least. He'll work on this centaur. The last bit of healing. It even keeps him alive for a little bit. Buyback immediately on Masaros, and Jackie still stands tall. Blacklist, the pride of the Philippines. They're on their last legs here, and I don't know how long they're standing. GG is called, it's over.
Blacklist have not lived up to, I think, the fans' expectations here, being knocked out of DreamLeague qualifiers.
Dude, we were talking about Blacklist. You know, so much expectations coming in for them after that middling showing at ESL KL.